It's September again, and you know what that means? Aside from the fact that, at least in the Philippines, it's the start of the longest Christmas season in the world, it's also the start of the application period for the 2023 JET program. Unless the sponsoring organization, that's CLARE, or the Council of Local Authorities for International Relations, moves it to the following month. But yes, the JET program application usually starts on the second or the third week of September. Again, it depends on the decision of CLARE. So if you're still watching this, you might want to apply or reapply and try your luck for the 2023 JET program. You might also want to check my previous videos related to the JET program. So just visit my YouTube channel and then click the playlist button, and then you can find the folder or the playlist called or titled JET program. So remember that JET program is not for everyone. Recently, out of the hundreds or more than 1,000 applicants from the Philippines alone, the biggest JET Philippines delegation so far in a single year is 53. That was in 2019 with 52 ALTs and 1 CIR. Special case for the 2020 and 2021 batches because they came as one group in November 2021, I think, with more than 100 of them. That was because of a year delay in sending the delegates, or Japan accepting the new batch because of the pandemic. So what does this mean? It only means that only those with strong and relevant credentials can advance to the second stage of screening. And then only those with remarkable skills and personalities make it to the shortlist and the alternate list. So to help you decide whether to give JET 2023 a try or not, regardless if you are applying for the first time or if you are reapplying for the second, third, fourth, or fifth time this year, I have 5 tips or advice on how to prepare for the upcoming application process of the 2023 JET program. Tip number 1, learn about the JET program. So you can just search for JET program online. Go to the JET program official page and then JET program Philippines. There's also the JET Philippines Alumni Association Facebook page, or check some YouTube channels of JET program participants from the Philippines. So we have Teacher Max, Just Me, Donna, and then of course Joey Sensei's YouTube channel. So just the basic information about JET program, like what is JET program, why was it created, what are the roles of the different positions under the program. So because JET program has 3 positions. We have ALTs, CIRs, and SEAs. And then what are the pros and the cons of joining or participating in the program? Don't just content yourselves with the idea that you will be earning 6-digit yens if you are under the program, or the idea of living and moving to Japan, because there is more to discover about this country when you spend months or years living here, working here, and experiencing what the native Japanese people also here experience, and observing how they go on with their daily lives. Tip number 2, check your eligibility. So as what has been popularized by the JET program, ESID or ESID. Every situation is different. Each participating country has their own localization or modification of the guidelines, of the general guidelines set by the organizing committee or sponsoring organization, that's CLARE. We know for a fact that though we are allowed for the program, we are accepted for the program, English is still our second language. So there's a big difference when it comes to English as the native language of the US, UK, Australia, and New Zealand, Ireland, as compared to us, Philippines, and other countries, other participating countries, where English is a second official language or a second language. So for this video, I'm going to show you the eligibility requirements for JET program Philippines. You can also access this through the website of the Embassy of Japan to the Philippines. By the way, I'm going to use here the eligibility requirements for 2022 JET program Philippines, because 2023 has not officially opened yet, and there are no general requirements or general announcements published as of recording of this video. So if you are of a different nationality and you're watching this video, I thank you for that. But my advice is please check the posts or the requirements set by the Embassy of Japan to your respective countries. So for the JET program Philippines 2022, here are the eligibility requirements. So first, it says here you must be interested and be willing to deepen your knowledge and appreciation of Japan after your arrival. You must be motivated to participate and initiate international exchange activities in the local community. Make effort to study or continue studying Japanese language prior to and after arriving in Japan. And the next, be both mentally and physically healthy. Next is be willing and able to adapt to living and working in Japan, and be determined to responsibly complete their period of participation. Next, hold a bachelor's degree or higher or obtain such qualification by the designated arrival date. So the main requirement doesn't state anything about being an education degree holder or language degree holder or English degree holder for as long as you finish your bachelor's degree, or you are expected to finish such degree by the time of your arrival date. Then must be a Filipino citizen. Filipino citizen meaning you are legally a Filipino citizen, maybe born naturally or are naturalized Filipino citizen. Next, you must be adept in contemporary standard pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation in English, and possess excellent language ability that can be applied accurately and appropriately. Have the ability to form sentences in a comprehensive and logical manner. It doesn't state about having an American accent, a British accent, an Australian accent, or having a neutral accent, for as long as you are knowledgeable of the standards or standard rules of the English language. Have not participated in the program since the 2017 JET program year, or have participated in the program for more than 5 years in total. Not have declined a position on the program after receiving notification of assignment in the previous JET program year. However, there's an exception to this. If your reason for withdrawing to the program or declining the position is valid, yes, you will still be qualified to apply. Have not lived in Japan for 6 or more years in total since 2010. But if you lived here, for example, you worked in Japan before as a trainee, as a student, or as a dependent for 2 years, 3 years, and then you decided to go back to the Philippines, but the total year or period of staying here does not reach 6 years, you are still qualified. Have a desire to proactively maintain relations with Japan even after completion of the program. Concerning entry into Japan for participation of the program, agree to reside in Japan under the status of residence stipulated on Article 2-2 of the Immigration Control and Refugee Recognition Act. Be willing to obey all Japanese laws. Yeah. Applicants with a suspended jail term must have finished their period of probation by the time they submit their application form. Be interested in Japanese education system, particularly foreign language education in Japan. Of course, you'll be working as an assistant language teacher, helping the Japanese teachers with the foreign language education, that is English language education in Japan. Be interested in working with children, because 90% of the JET program ALTs work with junior high schools and elementary school, and then be qualified as a language teacher or be strongly motivated to take part in the teaching of foreign languages. An additional tip: if your bachelor's degree is not related to education or to English language, I suggest that you get a TEFL or TESOL certification. So there are many 120-hour TEFL or TESOL certificate courses that you can find online. So I think as low as $20 to $30, $35, you can actually finish the course in 1 month or even less. That's still ahead of the deadline of submission of applications. So you will have an additional point for that. I mean, additional consideration for that. And then if you don't have a JLPT certificate yet, or if you just want to learn the basics of Nihongo or Japanese language, you can also enroll to a Nihongo class. So it doesn't matter if it's free or if it's paid, because I know there are free online courses wherein you can get a certificate for completing one course. Or you can also enroll in a face-to-face class with Japanese language schools or Japanese language centers. As long as you get a certificate at the end of the course, you'll be good. You'll be fine. So let me just emphasize this. Though these are not required, you will get additional evaluation points if you have them as per announcement or as per post of the Embassy of Japan in the Philippines website. Tip number 3, start gathering your document requirements. So there are 9 document requirements that are listed in the JET program application checklist. And for most of them, it takes weeks or a month or even longer to have them or to receive them. So as early as now, I suggest that you start requesting for the documents, specifically your certificates of graduation. That's different from your diploma. Your official transcript of records for all courses that you graduated in. So if you graduated with a bachelor's degree and then a master's degree, you should request for 2 transcript of records, one for the bachelor's degree and one for the master's degree. If you have master's degree already, or if you are currently enrolled in a master's degree, you can also request for your official transcript of records. I have a separate video for this. You might want to check it out also. So I'm sharing the link here. Tip number 4. By this time, you should already start writing your SOP or your statement of purpose. So based on experience, normally it would take me about 3 days to 5 days to finish an academic essay or a serious essay. So I don't know why when I applied for the JET program, I only spent about a day to finish my SOP back then. So actually, I didn't expect too much about getting an invitation letter or an invitation email to advance to the next level, for the reason that I wasn't sure about the quality of my SOP or my statement of purpose. But yeah, maybe JET program was really meant for me. So for the SOP, I think the theme or the topic is generally the same for all batches or every year. Should be able to think about what can you contribute to the program. How do you plan to perform your roles or your responsibilities as a language teacher, as an English language teacher, to be more specific, and as a cultural ambassador. With cultural ambassador, we mean how will you promote your own culture? How will you share your culture to the Japanese students? And in return, how will you share your experiences in the program? And then what are your plans after participating in the program? So basically, those are important points or important questions that you need to answer in your SOP. And then all other questions, all other ideas that you might want to include in your SOP, it's up to you, for as long as you'll be able to encapsulate or incorporate those ideas within the given word limit or word count. And then tip number 5, trust the process. When it comes to applying for the JET program, nobody really knows the secret to a successful JET applicant. I mean, who are most likely to get accepted, who are most likely to get rejected, nobody knows. What I and the rest of my co-JET YouTubers or JET alumni friends can give are just advice, tips, guidance, based on how we did our application before, during our time, based on our observations, and based on our conversations with our JET friends and some important personalities. So again, nobody really knows how the applicants are selected, because just like in any other application process, the fate of the applicants depends on the members of the screening committee, depends on the screening panel. So for the future JET program applicants, once you have submitted your documents and your applications, I advise you to just go back to your original daily routines, to your original your usual self, and wait for that golden email, wait for that lucky email stating your advancement to the next stage or to the next level of the screening process, and eventually your acceptance to the program. I repeat, trust the process and everything will be all right. So that's all for this video. Until next time.